The school year is over, which means many of you are moving on to college next year. But college, especially in the States, is expensive, unless you have scholarships. Some of you will be paying off your student loans for years to come, unless you get a little creative. Maybe a few of these points on our list will give you some ideas, but stick to the points that are legal. Here are 10 crazy things students did to pay for college. What is gravy potatoes? You are watching IO, and I'm back at it again with another list. Leave a like on this video if you're still paying off student loans, and subscribe for your daily dose of news updates and facts that will most definitely cure your boredom. I would be willing to bet a potato on that. And on this channel, the hosts feature your favorite comments at the end of our videos, so turn on those notifications and be one of the first to comment when a video goes up, and you may just see yourself on our channel. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get into this list. Number 1 and 2 on this list are pretty insane, so I highly recommend sticking around until the end. Coming in at number 10, we got living in the school library. If you've ever been to post-secondary, you're probably accustomed to spending a large chunk of your time studying in the library. Well, one NYU student saved money on rent by literally sleeping in the library. University housing is pretty darn expensive, so expensive that Steve Stanzak, who had both a scholarship and student loans, could not afford it. For 7 months in 2004, he lived in the NYU Bobst Library. I mean, that's not surprising. New York has some of the most expensive living costs in America. Definitely not easy to afford, and even if you could afford it, you wouldn't live anywhere nice. When I went to school in New York, I shared a single room with another person, and I paid pretty much the same amount that I'm paying now for a 2-bedroom. This one actually has a happy ending. Steve was a creative writing major, and he actually documented his experiences living in the library on the website Homeless at NYU. Faculty and staff at NYU found out about his experiences, and NYU ended up giving him free housing for the last 3 weeks of the school year. That definitely would have been nice, 7 months prior, but anyways. Next up at number 9, we got the girl who became a human lab rat to afford college. In case you didn't know, you can earn money by participating in medical studies. Some studies are easy, you might have to just fill out a survey, and then other studies are more complex and require some pretty strange things. And when you live in a city with some of the best medical research facilities in the country, you can pretty much have a part-time job as a human lab rat. Allison Yochim of Boston University earned money by participating in studies where she would watch videos of sea turtles fighting, as well as hardcore adult films. In one study, she had to answer a bunch of very personal questions, and then afterward, researchers measured her body response to watching a computer screen that flashed images of nature plus a bunch of saucy sexual pictures. Allison Yochim made more than $3 grand by participating in over 30 medical studies at Boston's research hospitals. Moving right along now, at number 8, we got the guy who paid for college by eating competitively. Eric Dahl was a computer engineering student, and he ranks 3rd in the world of competitive eaters. He actually used to be number 1. He started eating competitively in 2011 at the Big Red Steakhouse in Madison. He didn't want to pay for the food he ate at the steakhouse, so he signed up for a challenge offered by the restaurant, which was eat a 3-pound cheesesteak sandwich in less than 10 minutes and the restaurant will cover your bill. Eric ended up finishing the sandwich in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. He then went on to make $250 from eating 9 pulled pork sandwiches in 6 minutes, and the rest is history. To date, he's earned over $18,000 in prize money from eating competitively. And if you ever want to try this, take note. Eric does not let the pounds pack on. He's a very active person. He eats healthy when he's not in eating competitions. He walks a few miles every day, he lifts, plays soccer and hockey, and his weight doesn't increase more than 220 pounds. He eats 3,100 calories a day that are mostly made up of vegetables. Damn, that's a lot of vegetables. And in order to stretch his stomach for eating competition, he then eats 10 pounds of cabbage or broccoli in one sitting and drinks a ton of water. Sounds like a lot more trouble than it's worth. I mean, 18 grand is a lot of money. At lucky number 7 on our list, we got Find a Sugar Daddy. There are literal websites that specifically target sugar babies who get free tuition from wealthy benefactors. Websites like Sugar Baby University facilitate these connections, and according to their website, sugar babies receive an average of 3 grand a month in allowances and gifts from sugar daddies. What kind of gifts? According to a Toronto Sun article, there are over 300,000 university students that have registered as sugar babies in Canada, and that's not surprising considering Canada is one of the most expensive places to get a university education. So I know what you're thinking, what exactly do you have to do for this sugar daddy? Well, it really depends. You can define your terms and expectations on your profile before you enter any arrangement. At least there's that. Maybe you won't have to do anything sexual. Maybe he just wants a friend. Right? A nice little buddy that you pay for. At number 6, and this one inspired this list, we have the girl that sold videos of her sneezing to pay for college. Abby Haywood is a fine art foundation student at Leeds Art University, and she makes hundreds of dollars by selling videos of herself to men that show her sneezing. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a sneeze fetish, but apparently there is. Abby's videos cost anywhere from $30 for an average video to $100 for a custom personalized sneezing video. Now I know what you're thinking, what if you just can't sneeze? Well, Abby's thought of that too. She has a little tool that she puts up her nose that stimulates her sneezing. In one video she sneezed 11 times in 5 minutes, and another she sneezed 37 times in 1 hour. Abby makes more money selling her sneeze videos than she does at her part-time job. In 2 months she made $750. It is time for number 5. Become an egg donor. Women across the United States are visiting fertility clinics and selling their eggs for $2,000 to $10,000 a pop. Before you go and think that this is an awesome idea, just know, ladies, that it's not that easy to sell your eggs. It's a long process. You have to submit an application, undergo physical as well as psychological screenings, and then do a ton of hormone therapy where you have to give yourself hormone shots. And there's no guarantee that the fertility clinic will want your eggs in the first place because you might not be a good candidate. But on the plus side, being an egg donor is a godsend for many families who are unable to get pregnant without help. Back in 2010, egg donations made up 12% of assisted reproductive technology procedures. There are even agencies like the Georgia's Reproductive Biology Associates who specifically seek out college women for egg donations, but applicants must possess some form of higher education above the high school level. I actually had a friend who was an egg donor, and she used the money to pay off a large chunk of her student loan. It really helped her out. But you should know that there's sometimes complications that come with donating your eggs, like the chance of being diagnosed with ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. That happens when your ovaries become too stimulated, which occurs when you give yourself hormone shots. Proceed with caution, ladies. Next up at number 4, we got the cheerleader who sued her own parents to pay for her college tuition. Rachel Canning, a cheerleader and honor student, filed a lawsuit against her parents for throwing her out of the house when she turned 18 and refusing to pay for her private school and college tuition. She asked the court to have her parents pay for her tuition for the private high school she attended, her living expenses, and also use the money from a college fund they had set up to pay for at least some of her college education. It was also her request that her parents pay her legal bills. I feel like this is a bit much. It actually turns out that Rachel Canning dropped the suit and moved back in with her parents when the judge denied her request for living expenses. She ended up getting a $56,000 scholarship to Western New England University. But something tells me that that lawsuit definitely scared her parents. Moving right along now, at number 3, the students who robbed a bank to pay for college. This is some next level shit. Back in 2011, 2 students from Ohio were slapped with a 20-year prison sentence for robbing a bank at gunpoint. The students were 22-year-old Christopher Avery, student at the University of Cincinnati, and 20-year-old Andrew Butler, student at the University of Toledo. Both pleaded guilty to 2 charges of aggravated robbery and 6 charges of kidnapping. When they got caught, they said that they needed the money to pay for college. It turns out that one of these students actually had a scholarship, $20,000 from Cincinnati Bell. He was one of 2 black students from Taft Information Technical High School in Ohio to get this scholarship. But even with the 20 grand, his mother said that he didn't have enough to go to university. The judge, however, was not lenient. He said, "You don't need $130,000 to go to Toledo University." Preach, bruh. Getting close now. At number 2, we've got the girl who sold her feet. No, not literally. She became somewhat of a foot escort. Back in 2012, 19-year-old NYU undergrad Olivia answered a Craigslist ad. Oh god, nothing good ever happens when you answer a Craigslist ad. But when you're desperate for money, sometimes you have no choice. So Olivia answered an ad that was looking for girls with, quote, pretty feet. She went to a spa in Midtown Manhattan and soon found out that she was now part of an underground foot fetish ring. Men paid $100 just to get in and $2 per minute to massage, smell, and suck on feet. Olivia had no problems while she did this. Her clients were always respectful and she made up to $800 a week. But I mean, she also had to put her foot inside of a guy's mouth. I feel like that'll be hard. A hard image to get out of your head. Also, why do you want to put feet in your mouth? They're stinky. And at number 1 on our list, we have the girl who auctioned off her virginity to pay for college. There have actually been a few instances of this, but the one I'm going to talk about today is from 2009 because a few of those other stories involving Cinderella escorts ended up being false. As far as I know, this one is genuine. At the time, Natalie Dillon was 22. She auctioned off her virginity to pay for her master's degree in family and marriage therapy, and the thesis she is working on revolves around the value of virginity. Now, she said something really interesting that definitely stuck with me. Up until about 100 years ago, fathers sold their daughters' virginities to a man who could provide the most wealth for her. Essentially, fathers used to be their daughters' pimps. So if fathers had the right to sell their daughter's virginity to the highest bidder, and it was totally socially acceptable, why is it such a strange thing for a woman to sell her virginity to someone of her choosing nowadays? Clearly, virginities are valuable to many, and it's hers to do with it what she wants. Natalie received bids from over 10,000 men. Natalie insisted that she was not demeaning herself. She had a degree in women's studies. She also got the idea after her sister Avia paid for her degree by working as an escort for 3 weeks. The requests she got were both from creepy weirdos and also reasonably polite rich guys. Several of them were looking for a relationship, and Natalie made it clear she was only interested in a one-night stand. She ended up selling her virginity for $3.8 million. That is a hefty chunk of change. I'm honestly not saying that any of you should go do the same as Natalie, but it's definitely a different way of looking at things. Alright guys, that is it. What is your favorite point on this list? Would you ever do any of these things to pay for college? Have you ever done any of these things? Why don't you tell me if you've ever done anything just crazy that you're embarrassed to tell anyone to pay for college. For now, I'm gonna wrap up this video with some common features. Emma Colt said, OMG, I love this channel. I followed you for so long. Love ya. Thanks for being a loyal potato. Alex Hernandez said, great job on the video, and I also turned on post notifications. No you didn't. Stop it. Rayfall said, Charlotte, you are the best news comedian of 2019. Ha! Take that, Trevor Noah. The Potato Army said, oh my god, yes, it's summer break. I can watch your videos all day now. I very much like this. Anyone else done school for the summer? Peanut Butter Pikachu said, I've commented on the past few videos, but I haven't been featured. It's disappointing. Wee. Well, Pikachu, you can't have it all now, can ya? Just kidding guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep watching, we'll put together a playlist for you with a bunch of videos just like this one. And obviously, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed your time here, subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in a future IO video.